Welcome to this webinar where we are going to introduce you to our Master of Science program and how that program can give you the tools to really shape the future of our world and our society. My name is André da Silva Mano. I am a lecturer in geoinformatics, lecturer on geoinformatics, and with me I have
Jeroen Verplanken. I am the program manager of the Master of Geoinformation Science and Earth Observation.
So I think the first thing we need to clear out is we are going to give you an overview on the program, but we will also going to cover admission, how you finance your studies, and other financial matters that, of course, are relevant when you're planning to study abroad. But before we go into that, maybe it is a good idea to understand what is spatial data and what we do here. So at ITC, what we do is that we address so-called global challenges. So global challenges are problems that are not specific to a country or a region, but they have a global reach. And in order to address those problems, we need spatial data. And spatial data is data that has a location. So it's any phenomenon that we can locate on the surface of the Earth. So that is what Geoinformation Science and Earth Observation Master of Science is all about. It's a program about how to harness the power of spatial data, and with that you can solve all sort of problems using geospatial technologies. Now, for example, you might have seen images like these either in a journal or in a news piece, something like that, where they show you these maps, these satellite maps, like this example we have here, where it shows the degree of deforestation, and what you can see in one of the images in a gray pixels is the urban area, and then on the other slide you'll see a larger area of gray pixels. So that gives us an idea that some process, some phenomena happened here. Another example that I can show you coming from Brazil is a land cover map, where from satellite images we can build a map with land cover categories. So that means where are our forests, where is agricultural land, where are wetlands, where are our cities, and all these categories of land cover. And once we build a series of these land covers, we can have powerful insights on what is happening in our territory, in our landscape, and in our societies. Now, in order to learn all of this, we prepared a program that Jeroen is going to introduce. As program manager, he will give us a nice overview of how does this study program works.
Yeah, because there's so many nice things to learn, but how do we offer them to you? Many of you come from lots of different directions. Some of you might be into mathematics or computer science. Other might be in the field, in an environmental field, or even geology. Geoinformation science and Earth observation is really like, I think, a good layer of knowledge that we can put into many disciplines. And to cater for people from so many different disciplines, we start our program with what we call our foundation courses. These foundation courses make sure that everybody who is in the program is at the same level of knowledge and understanding of what we do here by the end of the first quartile. Our year is built out of four quartiles, 2 years, and each quartile you have 15 credits, as we call them, of courses to take. After your first quartile, what you need to do, and we are going to help you with that, is to choose a specialization direction. That specialization direction could be very much from where you are coming from, so what suits you best, or where you want to go in terms of your career objectives. We offer, next to the specialization courses, quite a few courses which we call elective courses. So you have a choice, depending on the direction you want to take yourself in the future, which courses you add on to your specializations. Now, the program is a 2-year academic master where we really focus on your individual research, which means that already at the end of the first year, you have time to develop skills, but also develop a proposal that you want to investigate, that you want to go do your individual research in the second year. So the second year of the program is mostly devoted to your individual MSc research. During that period, you also have time to expand on your knowledge, to add courses that you need for your research or for your personal development. So in that, you combine your own program. Some students, I think about half of our students, they choose to do an internship. And that can allow you to go to a Dutch company or a European company or even outside of Europe, where you can develop your skills in practice, where you can see what you've learned in the classroom, how that actually works in a corporate environment. So, I told you about specializations. The program offers 4 distinct specializations and the option to tailor your own work. So whether you come from an environmental field, maybe resources security is an interesting part for you, or you were interested in water management. People who are very much worried about global disasters, they might be interested to choose a specialization which focuses on disaster resilience. If you're really then focused on most of the global challenges that are happening in the urban environment, you might be more interested in a specialization on urban and land futures. People who have a more technical background, who have a geoinformatics background, or are really savvy on programming and computer skills, they might want to develop themselves more in the geospatial artificial intelligence field. So the GeoAI specialization offers the possibility to develop yourself really in the use of machine learning, algorithm development for both geoinformation, big spatial data, or Earth observation data from a technical perspective. The free specialization is really there to cater for people who want something really different, who want something that is not covered in these specializations, but which we can try to accommodate by mixing courses from different specializations or adding uncommon courses to an existing specialization. If you want to do that, we have a study advisor and mentors to actually help you make sure that you make the right choice of courses within your program. Coming back to those internships. An internship has lots of opportunities for many people. Like I said, half the students do this, and I think also many people get their jobs out of an internship.
Yes, and I think it's important to highlight what you see here in this figure is a network of contacts, of institutional collaborations that in some cases go back decades that ITC built. And as a student, you have access to this network. So we can facilitate internships in organizations. This is by no means a complete list, but it gives you an idea that ITC network is really a global network, and you will have access to that network to do your internship. And we believe that that is a very valuable experience that then you carry with you, because not only will you carry an international degree, but you will also carry an international experience in an international organization. So this is a network that I think is full of opportunities, and some of our students have taken good opportunity with it.
Exactly. So I mean, this is just a number of examples. Anna and Manas, they did both their internships in the Netherlands, but they were also very much active in takeovers of social media. So they actually presented these things online. Maybe you have seen them on your social media channels, that they were reporting about their events of what they were learning and doing actually in their internships. As I also said, it's really a strong academic program, right? You really focus on your MSc research, and it offers you the opportunity to really make it your own. We always say for MSc research, you're in the lead. You decide where you go and what you want to do. Now, David here, who's from Colombia, he did a very nice piece on research in the disaster resilience area. And he created a nice early warning system. And this was so nice that actually during his period and preparing his MSc, he was able to go to Vienna and present his research at a conference. So you have these opportunities to explore further and develop yourself. There's also Lorraine, who actually studied with cum laude, which call a distinction. So actually, and we thought she was very good, and she was very nice when she was doing it, but she also, for the university, she earned an award, the graduation award in 2022. So, and she was, I think, in your group, right?
Yes, and she continues with us with her PhD program. So she's currently undergoing her PhD research to obtain the doctorate degree because the quality of research is really very good, which is not an exception. Lorraine is not an exception, but is just a good example of the quality of the research that you can conduct here.
Yeah. And then, of course, not everybody becomes a researcher. I have here a picture of Maria, who actually also who started to do her PhD in Germany. But like David, who we mentioned before, he did his work in early warning and disaster resilience, and now he's working, for instance, for the 510 Global Data Center of the Netherlands Red Cross, who works a lot globally for disaster resilience and disaster relief. So, and there's also Luis, who also found a job in a remote sensing company in the Netherlands. So there's quite a few options where you can go. Many people actually we find end up in working for government agencies or non-profit organizations and education. So we have quite a few people who come from a teaching job, who work for a university and go back to their teaching job afterwards. So there's actually quite, I think it says here between 90% find employment within 12 months of graduating. I think most even within 6 months after graduating you have a good job.
And sometimes, one thing that I think it's powerful that we need to remind when we talk about spatial data is that if you think about any challenge, any problem, any opportunity anywhere in the world, most of the time you need to understand its location and its spatial dimension in order to truly harness, to truly understand, and to truly tackle that problem or that opportunity. And I think that's the power of spatial data, and that reflects on the variety and diversity of paths that our students pursue, because with spatial data, with a good understanding of spatial data, the paths that you can follow in your career are really very diversified.
The language of geography is understood in all areas.
Yes, all areas.
Okay, so we'll have the question and answer afterwards, so you can have, if you have more questions about the content of the program, let us know. Of course, there are some admission requirements. I think one thing which is very important is that we do not just look at your grades. You know, we assess everybody individually, particularly also on the basis on your motivation letter. People's work experience sometimes also matters, because some of you just finish your bachelor's when you want to enter our program, but we have actually quite a few students who do this after a couple of years of professional life. And that actually also counts for us in terms of your eligibility to be admitted to the program. The regular statements here of upper second class, first class, you have to score 75 and above to generally be admitted quite easily. We say a Bachelor of Science in a related discipline. Well, so that can be anything. The language of geography is understood universally, and we have lawyers, we have geologists, we have foresters, we have mathematicians from all.
I lost count on the backgrounds and ideas that come.
Yeah. So we look at everybody individually, but we do pay a lot of attention on language skills. And particularly your ability to speak and write is very important to us, because you need to be able to express yourself and you need to do a lot of reading. And that's, I think, most important.
Yes.
That sort. If you're interested after this session and to explore this further, then you just need to know that academic year starts in 1st of September. And if you want to join on the 1st of September, you have to make sure that all the administrative bits are ready before the 1st of June. That's, I think, the most important deadline to know. Then everything has to be cleared. And that's it. And then we have our colleague Marlies, who will tell you a bit more about financing your studies.
Yes, and we will be, after Marlies, we will all be here to answer any questions you might have. So now we hand it to Marlies.
Hello everyone and welcome to this webinar. My name is Marlies and I'm the Scholarship Officer at the faculty ITC. I'll take you quickly through the finance part of this webinar. Well, if you're interested in studying this program, you just learned about the admission requirements. And we advise you to apply as soon as possible, so you will hear if you get accepted into the program. If you get accepted, you will receive your admission letter together with the invoice. And the invoice consists of the following fees. The fees are the tuition fees per academic year, the cost of living, which includes the housing, the food and beverages, and everything that you need in your personal daily life, and the complete cost for the health insurance and the visa. Please keep in mind the payment deadline, which is June 2026. It seems far from now, but for those that need to arrange their funding, it is pretty fast. So we understand that not everyone has this funding available. Hence, the university provides a scholarship finder. If you scan the QR here, you will be directed to the website where you can find funding possibilities that we are currently aware of. There might be others available out there, but we're still early in the process, so keep this website in mind when you're searching for funding. The faculty ITC, where this program is offered, is also trying to help you when it comes to partial funding opportunities. On the one hand, we offer a discount to candidates who are able to pay their fees at an early stage in February or March. It's called the ITC Early Bird Program, and we give a 40% discount on the tuition fees. On the other hand, we also try to help when it comes to partial scholarships. The Dutch Ministry of Education offers the NL scholarship, which is a very small amount that can help you during your monthly living allowances. And the other one is from the faculty ITC. It's a scholarship called ITC Excellence Scholarship and covers a huge part of your tuition fees and living allowances. These options are very competitive and only limited spaces are available, and the information will be updated in the coming weeks. In October, the portal opens to apply, so keep the website in mind if you would like to receive the latest updates on these funding opportunities. We do want to mention that securing funding is your own responsibility, so start your search very soon. Now I would like to give the word to our lovely student Sarah, who will share with you her experience here at ITC.
Thank you, Marlies. Hello, everyone. I'm Sara Melgarejo. I'm currently a master's student in Geoinformation Science and Air Observation. I come from Colombia, where I completed my bachelor's degree in Environmental and Sanitary Engineering. And after graduating, I worked 2 years designing drinking water treatment plants. But since my bachelor's studies, I've always had this passion in GIS and water resources, and at ITC I found the perfect program to combine both interests. That's why I chose the specialization in water resources and environmental management, which is now called resources security. So starting a new life could be challenging, especially if it's in a different country, but my transition to the Netherlands was kind of smooth. One of the reasons was the kick-in, which is the University of Twente introduction event, where you can meet people from day one, and it really helped me to settle in. Also, another advantage is that ITC is an international faculty where you can meet people from all over the world. And also, a plus is having this amazing campus full of facilities and beautiful spaces that really enhance the student experience. So as I mentioned, my specialization is water resources and environmental management. And what I like the most about it is the innovative course content, which is based, combining theory and hands-on learning. We also have field trips surrounded by nature, and Always they are encouraging us to apply theory to real life work experiences. So right now I'm in the second year of my master's, which is focused on master thesis and the internship. For my thesis, I'm working in estimating river discharge from one of the NASA's newest satellites in Uganda. And for my internship, I'll be joining C-SMART, helping to create a geospatial database for maritime simulations, which are used to train ships and cruise staff. But life is more than just academic life, and at ITC and at University of Twente, you have plenty of options. For example, I'm the Academic Affairs Coordinator for the Orbit, the Association of ITC Students. I'm also the Learning Assistant, helping new students navigate the academic challenges for their months in the Netherlands. And also, UT has different sports and cultural associations that you can join. So there's always something going on outside the classroom. Finally, during this year, I have gained a lot of technical knowledge in GIS and remote sensing, but just as importantly, I have learned a lot of cultural knowledge. I also developed time management skills, improved my cooking skills, and the most meaningful of all is that I've made lifelong friendships. So thank you so much for your attention. Here are my contact details, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions.
Thank you so much, Sara, for joining and for sharing your experience. I think it's time now for the Q&A, and I've seen some questions coming through already. Let's see what still has to be answered. If you have any questions, please drop them in the Q&A so we can have a look at them and answer your questions. Mustafa, thank you for your suggestion to collaborate. We will look into that, definitely. Our colleagues, Jeroen and Andre, are also here, helping with the questions. I hope that you can see them on the screen because they will turn on or have turned on their camera. I see a question from Mohammed regarding your undergraduate degree that was conducted entirely in English. Would an official letter from my university confirming this be accepted as proof of my English proficiency? I need to know more about your nationality and background, but if you did your bachelor degree fully in English, often this is an opportunity, but we need to look into that in more detail. So if you apply for the program, you will have to do a checklist, and then you will see if you have to submit English proficiency.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
Well, I see there's a question from Mustafa just a bit before. He was interested in carbon sequestration and urban heat islands and these type of things. Yeah, I mean that's really interesting topics that we do a lot with, actually. I mean, that's on the resource security or urban land future specialization in the project. There's actually quite some interesting research being done. So there's definitely opportunities there. That's really interesting.
Okay, thank you, Jeroen. Anyone else? Any questions that we can answer now? Of course, you're more than welcome to contact us after the webinar. Maybe it's easier to do it now.
There's a good question now at the end from Abid. Yeah, I'm going to find the link where you can do that actually, because all our research output from the university is online, and you can actually search on whatever you're interested in, and then you can find the responsible professor. That's really, really cool. That's but now I need to find where it is. So hang around, I will find the link.
I
can
also see
answer.
that in the. Sorry, Andre?
While you look for the link, Jeroen, a question just popped up. So what kind of studies or learnings we do in urban and land futures and professional prospects? So within urban futures, you have two paths. So one path is more focused on urban planning, and another one is more focused on land administration, land rights, access to tenure, security of tenure, cadastral maps, land administration, those kind of things. So more related with how to manage land in respect with what rights people have over the land, how to protect those rights, and how to model them in a system, in a computer, and have that information secured and distributed. So that would be more the land side. Now, for the urban side, it is more related with urban planning, but of course, urban planning is a big field in itself. So within that path and within that topic, of course, you will learn about what are the practices of urban planning. You will also be exposed to how GIS and spatial data is used in order to plan and monitor the development of our cities. But in reality, especially when it comes to thesis and research, so if you choose to do a research related with the urban planning aspect of it, you can think of any process, physical or social, that occurs in our cities is a potential fit for your research. So you might be interested, for example, in physical aspects of our cities. For example, how susceptible a certain city is to flooding or to heat waves, or you might be interested, for example, to assess how good is the access to primary school networks, for example. So these are all problems that can be addressed in these learning paths. I hope this answered your question.
Well, thank you, Andre. I think it answered the question. If not, please let us know. Let's continue in the Q&A, because I believe all questions in the chat have been answered. Andre and Jeroen, I don't know if you maybe could start with selecting the questions that you can answer, and we will follow.
I am monitoring. I'm looking at them now.
I see Raghu here. I think Danush, I think you're currently already in the program, right? You're looking at the selection here for. I'm sure that that we can find something in combining forest and environmental science. I mean, in the resource security, there's definitely a pathway there that can deal with that. So I'm sure you will find something there. Absolutely. But of course, whenever you're here and you want to select a path of courses, I mean, we do have a lot of mentors for every specialization and pathway that can actually help you out, making your choice very concrete. I mean, everybody who is admitted in the general program, and once you're here, you get the opportunity to choose exactly which direction you want to take.
I saw a question here that I think it might be also interesting for others. So Dadawi is asking if we can get into this master with a bachelor in art in computation and design. So the short answer would be yes. So there is not a field that would be like a strictly no. So what is essential is that you comply with the language entry requirements. That is really essential. And once you are admitted into the program, then of course your mentors might advise you to go to one specific learning path that is probably more aligned with your background, because of the structure of specializations and electives and learning paths. There might be a learning path that is more adjusted to you and to your interests or not, but your bachelor in itself is not a disadvantage. So I don't see anything in it that would say that you would not be admitted just based on that.
Yeah. Certainly. I mean, there's others. Well, these questions are actually great. I mean, they're very specific. So, particularly if you want, who is this? Onur. Working on renewable energy technology and low carbon technologies. Depends very much how you look at this. I mean, are you interested in designing these technologies, or are you interested in the spatial relationship that deals with the problems behind it and where you're going to apply it? If you look at designing these technologies, you would really be looking at more an engineering program, right? I mean, our university has several really industrial engineering, mechanical engineering, all kinds of nanotechnology and engineering processes, which could be with filter technologies, which could be very much related to what you're interested in. That's something that we don't do in our program, but we do at the university. So that maybe that another master might be there. So I don't know exactly how that would fit you. So the free specialization is not to go way beyond whatever we're offering. We really want to try and offer a mix of what is there. I think what you're looking here, the next question there from Valiant, talking about street view images with deep learning and road damage detection. This sounds to me something which is really a combination between the GeoAI that we offer and the urban transport people that we have. So there's quite an interesting mix there where I see, oh, well, this might be indeed GeoAI with some urban, or it could just be a GeoAI specialization where in your research you focus on the urban side of things. And that's something that we can figure out once you're here. Right? That's not something
and this is and just to add something to what you just say, and I think this question of using deep learning to extract information that is relevant for urban planners using street view imagery is actually a good reason to introduce something that we haven't, and it is interesting, and that is when you do a research, you have two supervisors, which are actually more advisors, because remember that you are on the lead. So it could be, for example, in such a situation that you have one supervisor that is more into deep learning, machine learning, GeoAI field, so more on the feature extracting side of things. You would have a second advisor that is more linked to the urban planning and social sciences dimension of things, so that, because it's not just about the technique, it's about, how will that serve society and what problem would be solving. So you would get advice from two different perspectives, and every student has two supervisors. I think that is one thing that I think it's very useful. And when there are students that come with these ideas out of the box, like yours, usually is what we try to do. We try that the two supervisors, that each of these supervisors brings its own expertise and its own strengths, so that, of course, they can, feed the monster, so to say, as best as possible.
Yeah. And if you're interested in becoming a data engineer, I think the spatial data engineering, that could be very simply a result of a pathway that we can create for you, where you say, okay, this is where my future career is. Absolutely. I think that's, but I think if you look more closely into the courses that we offer through the study guide and on the links, you can really see what you learn in each course, and that would probably offer you the best ideas on whether this is suitable for you.
I'm also going to address this question of Ryan, where he asks if it is necessary to have background in GIS and spatial analysis. So probably by now you have realized that no, it is not necessary. Is it an advantage? Yes, of course it is. So because what we do here is spatial data. So if you already have some background, essentially what it means is that you will have a quartile one that is a bit easier than your colleagues. That's essentially what it means. It helps, but it's not a requirement.
Yeah. Okay, then I see another question here from Dewan about already working in climate change and public health sector with a background in environmental science and disaster management. It looks like you studied here and found a job. But it really, yeah, I think it is, yeah, it's absolutely the case, right? It depends very much on what you want to become, right? We can guide you a lot in where you want, what you need as the basics, and already understanding quite a bit how the spatial relationship of things is, and that can come from a different background already. You don't need to understand GIS to have a good concept of spatial relationships. So it's yeah, I see lots of possibilities there. Absolutely.
In the Q&A, there's also a question from Mustafa, more than one question, but I will try to compile them. And here I will ask Marlies for help in the answer. So the first question is that, he's from Nigeria, so Nigeria is an English-speaking country. Now, there are a list of countries that I believe that you are exempted, but I'm not sure if Nigeria is on that list. So if you are Nigerian, in principle, you would be exempted from having that certificate, but Marlies can confirm that. And then a question about scholarship. So as far as I know, we do not have scholarship specific to any nationality, Nigerian or other, but maybe Marlies can complement this.
Thank you, Andre. Well, first of all, when it comes to the English test, that's indeed correct. But to confirm, what you can do is to check if you are eligible for the course, and then you will also see what you need to submit. If an English test is required, or if your bachelor's degree is fine, or because of you're coming from Nigeria, that should also be okay. But double check when you go through the application steps. Because Sarah, I don't know how it was for you when you applied for the program. I include our student with her experience. You also had to submit an English test, right?
Yeah. In my case, I submitted the IELTS test.
Yes. But of course, you're from Colombia, which is a Spanish-speaking country, so that is different. But you will see it in the steps when you apply, what you need to submit and what is not necessary. Hence, we also advise to apply as soon as the portal opens on the 1st of October, so you know what you need to submit and you have plenty of time to arrange these documents. When it comes to scholarships, our scholarship programs have specific criteria when it comes to nationality. So when you go to our scholarship finder at the UT website, utwente.nl, and you search for the scholarship finder, you select your nationality and your preferred study program, and you see what is available out there. Please note that we're only in September, so we will update our website soon, within the next 2 weeks. So wait with that, but the first step would be to apply for this master's program to get your admission letter, and with your admission letter you can apply for the funding available out there.
Great, yeah, that's absolutely. It's good that we have all these kind of support things. I'm just looking at the question from Zong about more information of internships and how many students are selected for internships. For internships, we actually don't select. Internship is a choice. So you can actually choose to do an internship as part of your free elective space in your second year. And it's something that we have an internship coordinator that can facilitate the contact between you and your employer with contracts and making sure that everything is supported by you have an internship supervisor and that there is proper things to learn from you, these type of things. But on the other hand, you arrange your internship yourself. So if you have a specific company that you would like to work with, you can make the arrangements yourself. Many companies offer internship programs, so they have on their website, they have openings for interns, but you might also just be bold and interested and just contact people and say, okay, this is something that I would like to do. Do you have an option? On the other hand, there's also quite a few staff in the faculty that have good connections with companies, as Andre just explained before when we were talking about internships. And so there might be already connections there where through knowing some of the academics here in the faculty, they can you can show your interest and they can say, oh, well, if you're interested in an internship, I know I have a few ideas. And so how you get there is just a matter of your own initiative. And yeah, it's something that you do. And you're also being assessed on their quality, not beforehand, but once you've done it, your employer will be your assessor as well. You know, so having a big influence on the grade you get for your internship. So.
I see that there are still a lot of questions. We will try to copy these questions and answer them at a later stage because we need to wrap up. So I would like to thank Jeroen and Andre and Sarah for answering these questions. We do want to mention that when I look at my screen, ITC is traveling the next weeks. So here you have an overview of where we will be in the coming weeks. If you would like to talk to us in person, please, and you're here in the area, please feel welcome to join us. More information about this can be found on the itc.nl website. So please take a look and hopefully we will meet you there. If you want to stay in contact, please do so. We are on social media and try to update you there with the latest information. So feel free to welcome us. And of course, we hope to see you next year or maybe even in the future here at ITC in our Masters of Geoinformation Science and Earth Observation. Thank you for joining this webinar.